Hello, friends. It's the Cinemondo podcast. Kathy and Mark and me talking about movies, trailers, like trailer reaction.
I love trailers. I love movie marketing in general. I love it. So I like to look at trailers, not just like I'm a fan, I want to see the movie. I like to look at trailers like its own art form. And that you can actually, it's like an editor, just like a film. You have a storyline you need to depict. You have all kinds of people giving you notes. It's like just making a little movie. So I feel like they deserve extra scrutiny. And I've always loved trailers anyway, going to the movies and seeing trailers. I love it. And being in marketing, it's a big deal to me. You have to tie it into posters. You have to try it into the, I love trailers.
They have to make me want to watch the movie. They have to make me, when I see a trailer and I'm like, I don't have to see the movie, or that looks really awful. There's
trailers have changed. If you watch trailers from the 70s, 80s, even 90s, it's different. It's a different feel. It's a different vibe. Now there's, like they show the first 5 seconds. Here's the trailer. So you get a trailer for the trailer within the trailer. It's weird little stuff. And then it's
you see the whole movie in a trailer.
You see the whole movie.
I remember.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I remember seeing the trailer for The Shining, which was at that time nothing but those elevator doors opening and all this blood comes out. Right. And it was like that to me, that just gave me goosebumps. And it was like, I'm going to see this movie so many times. I can already tell. And it was so crazy. We saw it, my friends and I saw it at a drive-in theater, and we actually went back. The movie that it was opening, that the trailer was in front of, I believe, was called Humanoids from the Deep, which was a pretty cool movie. But we went back the next night. I brought my Super 8 camera, and I actually filmed the Shining trailer.
That's pretty cool
because I wanted to possess it.
I remember seeing the original Alien trailer. Was this?
Another great.
Yes,
it was really great with the crack in the egg and
that music.
It was just really good.
And those are all like teaser trailers, which I think are probably the best kind. Because this is not going to be a teaser trailer. We're just talking about genres, but the teaser trailers one, either it's a special shoot, like the blood that they then put in the movie, or it's like a special shoot like for Alien. It was like this. Really cool, slow, weird thing to the cracking egg and all that. It's depicted in the film, but they did that special. So I love those. And I love the ones that are just a scene from the movie, just out of context. You just see the scene and that's it.
Yeah.
Just like it is in the movie.
That can definitely work.
Most trailers, though, which is probably what this is going to be, is clip trailers, which is just a bunch of clips stitched together. Right. Hopefully tell a story. Sometimes do, sometimes they don't. But let's see if it does.
And I think we can figure out what this might be. I mean, this is from the world of John Wick.
Yeah, takes place in that universe.
Ballerina means, but I guess
the John Wick cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not directed by Chad Stahelski, which is the guy that directed all the John Wicks and sort of, a stuntman turned director, and he made a huge fortune. And so this is sort of an
own genre.
Yeah.
You have the John Wick genre of that crazy, really elevated action that was very, like we've talked about in other, like a lot of Indian movies, like really choreographed, big, epic scenes and pieces. And then there are these.
Then this one
is like a movie made by a stuntman.
Yeah.
Right. But this one is directed by Len Wiseman, who has directed all those underworld films that starred Milla Jovovich.
Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, Kate Beckinsale, sorry. And he also did the remake of Total Recall, which I never saw. That came out in 2012. I never remember that film, to be honest with you.
Is that with Colin Farrell?
Was it?
It was, let's see.
I think it was.
Wow. Because I know he wasn't. Yeah, boy.
Yes.
I never. No kidding. Good job, Kathy. I didn't know that.
It's what I do.
It's actually not a bad movie.
It's not.
The Total Recall remake.
But see, I never read like Total Recall either, so I'm one of those.
The Philip K. Dick story, that's based on. We can remember it for you wholesale. Or
no, the
Verhoeven, the Paul Verhoeven film from
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it was okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger always kind of drained my interest away from a movie. I don't know. I mean, I guess
I like him as a Terminator.
Yeah, the Terminator,
and he seems awesome now with his his ponies and his goats and mules.
But for Paul Verhoeven films are so over the top. And at the end of that movie, his eyeballs are actually popping out of his head. And somehow they somehow went back in. I'm like,
there's so many rubber heads made of Arnold Schwarzenegger for the Terminator movies where he's like poking his eye out. There's always some kind of facial thing going on with him.
I wonder if he has all those like in some room in his mansion, all his fake heads.
Well, I'm interested to see, because this is like from the world of John Wick Ballerina. So that they're in a way, I feel like it's a teeny bit, we'll see how it is, a teeny bit cynical that they will apply John Wick's name to this movie when he's not really about this movie. Now, I know it's in his world, but it feels a little bit like a cheat. But we'll see. Maybe it will pay off. It's not the same director. It's not the same actor. It's right. But it's John Wick somehow.
So but it's Ana de Armas. She's kind of big deal right now. She was really interesting in the Blade Runner movie, Blade Runner 2049, I think 2048, 2049. She was really good in that. I thought she played a really tragic character that had a interesting sort of character arc and sadness about the idea of the Pinocchio thing. I want to be a real girl,
Right.
And she did that, I think, really well. She played a artificial human pretty convincingly.
We'll see what she plays. She's a ballerina.
Yeah, she's the ballerina in this. The movie comes out June 6th, so it's an early summer release. So let's check out From the World of John Wick, Ballerina.
That's a long title.
It's a weird title.
Is that the title? Ballerina from the World of John Wick?
No, From the World of John Wick, Ballerina.
Ballerina. Okay.
Let's put John Wick first. He gets top billing.
From the World of John Wick, Ballerina.
I think more interesting be From the World of Ballerina, John Wick.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what's Ballerina?
Okay, anyway.
All they care about is John Wick. That's the only name they care about. All right, let's see what we get.
Okay. Everybody quiet and hold the work and put the tools down, everybody. All right, here we go. Bang.
In Slavic mythology, the Kikimara is a spirit that exists in the shadows. To those with darkness in their hearts, she can be vengeful. But to the innocent, she can be a protector. It's up to you to choose.
Welcome to the Continental. Checking in.
Okay, the Continental.
Okay.
Not a try with this mark.
Lance Reddick.
Yeah.
Needing to know is what got us banished from
Daryl
the Garden
Dixon?
of Eden.
Daryl Dixon, I think.
Are you prepared to be cast out again, Eve?
Yes. I'd like to go hunting.
Will this be a large or small game hunt?
Large.
You have no idea what you just
He looks exactly a Daryl Dixon.
I know that. It's in his contract. Don't touch the hair.
I know.
There's a declaration of war if she's not called off.
Perhaps I can send someone to solve the problem.
Angelica Houston, a big cast. Oh,
Yes,
The
there
Baba
he
Yaga.
is. It might be worth that 2
Leave the
seconds.
wolf
He's in it.
to its prey.
She sent you here to kill me?
Or you can leave.
I'm not leaving.
Your choice.
This is your fate. And you cannot change it.
Rules.
And consequences.
Okay, how long do you think Keanu Reeves spent on the set for this movie?
That day.
That scene
Hours.
in an extra couple of hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of the craft service.
Yeah.
He was out of there.
I can just see his manager over there off set, like, okay, that's it.
You can go make this John Wick movie now. We need to go.
Yeah.
This film, like I said, it was released. The release date is June 6, 2025. It was supposed to come out June 7th, 2024. So it was delayed one full year. Not sure why. Sometimes when things are delayed, it usually can mean like maybe there's an issue with the movie, maybe they had to recut it, maybe there's reshoots. Who knows?
Waiting for Keanu's schedule to open up a bit so he could.
But the film was shot. It was just delayed. The release was
delayed. It was all completely done, post and all.
I guess, that's what they say. 1 year delay. So that's always kind of I don't know if that's a red flag or if that's just a decision.
Well, they say it was delayed due to reshoots and action sequences overseen by Chad Stahelski. Actual John Wick. So he saw the movie and went, "Oh no, you're not putting John Wick's title on this until I come in and fix it."
Right.
So he did, and he's the one that probably brought in John Wick for that one sequence. I bet that was what they were shooting. But guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of it. Yeah. And also, come on, I love Norman Reedus, but you gotta change it up. You're not in The Walking Dead anymore. You're not. But I love him in Daryl Dixon. He's great, but he literally the same black tank top and the same hair and everything else. He might as well be carrying two swords.
Where's the motorcycle? I'm sure it's
there.
He has the same hair in his real life as well.
I know. It doesn't move either. It's solid. I love Daryl Dixon. I worked on the posters. It was awesome. I was very honored to do it, but he doesn't change his look at all.
Anyway, the look, I mean, maybe the reshoots were some of those action things we saw, whatever. But it has that look of super fake, like even the backgrounds, like when they're like in the village somewhere in Europe. It's like, oh my God, that just does not look realistic whatsoever.
And fight dancing again. It's like more the fight dancing thing.
But that's kind of a John Wick thing, but at the same time, at least the only thing I'll give her, she looks like she's really landing punches. It's not like super fake, doesn't land. Like she looks like it was really tough and she was like hitting hard. You know, when women are in these scenes, they kind of pull back or it's not believable, but she looked like she was actually doing some gun work, like where she's shooting people.
I think she can bring that. I feel like she's done that before in other films, like the Mission Impossible stuff or whatever. I mean, the James Bond thing.
Right.
So I think she can do that. The question is it just looks like a typical trailer for a typical sort of offshoot of an action,
Well, there's actors that can do the physical stuff that can come in and, like you said, bring it, and I think that's an important thing. When we talk a lot about Indian films and we watch the Indian trailers of films, and it's like sometimes I'll make comments about the fight dancing. I call it fight dancing because it's like overly choreographed fighting where the bad guys come like in order, like, okay, this guy comes, you beat him up, then this guy comes and you beat him up, and this guy, and it just seems sort of I mean, if you've ever seen a real fight, that they do not look like that. And this one has that, kind of choreographed where, that everything goes into a pose where you could take a still of each pose. And it's fight choreography that's kind of taken to the level of dance with weapons and that kind of thing. And it just doesn't.
It's called Ballerina. So.
Yeah, exactly. And she's a ballerina, so she dances.
Is she the ballerina?
I dance moves,
They didn't. Did they show her actually to be in a ballerina? They showed ballet. And they showed the little toy, but it's like they never showed her in the trailer. Like, let's look at the poster.
There she is, but she's missing one of her shoes. What happened to it?
She's holding it. It's got blood on it.
Oh, you're right.
It also looks like a head strip, so that's not her anyway. So
right.
So I mean, the cast is impressive. I mean, Angelica Houston, Gabriel Byrne. I mean, the late Lance Reddick. So this film was made a while ago because he passed away over here. I think.
Or they could have used
evidence of
John Wick for that. He's just behind the counter. Could just cut back and forth. It's like,
well, if they were smart, I always think about movies that have a lot of sequels, and especially movies that have young people in them because kids grow up so fast. You would think that people would go ahead and, if they have an idea for the second episode or the second one, it's like, let's just go ahead and shoot stuff. And you wonder sometimes with movies that are obvious sequel fodder, like John Wick was they knew when they made John Wick it was gonna be, there's a possibility of John Wick 2 and 3 and 4, and there's certain characters that only appear in certain places, Like his character is always
Behind
behind
the-
that desk at the hotel, and it's like,
That's
just
true.
go ahead and shoot a few episodes. of,
Yeah. I mean, we do that with photo shoots. So we're doing
Yes.
photographers. We shoot, and then you try and think of for the future, like
Future
it's a series
use.
where it's like have them walking, have them turning, have you think
Yes.
all these different poses you'll never use because you can have them for later. We also
Yeah.
had this art from the movie, and this is more like your standard action thing. So we
Yeah.
have the tattoo on her back. This also feels like a body double to me in a head strip, but I could be wrong. It just
Yeah.
has that vibe. Her head seems
Yeah.
too big, but
It's got those colors, those kind of retro colors that people are going for that
it's
are
kind of that John
sort
Wick
of-
thing now.
y-
That's
yeah,
weird, bright,
suggestive of the 70s or something, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
This is a wait and see for me. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's hard for me to not. I mean, basically, Keanu Reeves is going to be a cameo, so we've
Yeah.
got him there to represent.
I have a
John.
feeling we may have seen all the Keanu Reeves
I
scenes.
think we saw the entire scene in the trailer, so we've
Yeah.
seen it. And I don't know. We'll see. I'll wait for the reviews, but it looks okay. But if it's not Keanu Reeves, I'm kind of like, meh.
Yeah,
I've
it's
only seen the
entertaining.
first. I've only seen the first John Wick, and it's not my.
I liked the last one. It was
Yeah,
good.
it's just not my scene for whatever reason. I mean, even though I love Keanu Reeves, it doesn't work for me. But we'll see. I mean, it might be a huge hit, and maybe
I like
Len
that
Weiss
he had a
maybe
dog.
and a dog,
and
and a
John-
Armas brings
put it
in.
away though.
What's
Yeah.
that?
He put the dog away at a certain
Oh.
movie, kind of like, you can stay at the hotel now. And you were just like, wait, that's the whole story. Whole gimmick was having him with his dog.
Right, that's true. That's true.
The dog needs to learn kung fu. Whoa, I know kung fu.
His dog did
But-
do cool stuff and save him a couple times. So it was cool to have it in there. It was just new and fresh, but
Right.
But the John Wick movies, to me, I'm a comic book guy. I always have been. I love comic books, and John Wick is a comic book brought to life in a lot of an American comic book
Yeah.
brought to life. It's got that feel of those weird alternate reality style of like stories that take place in fictitious big cities like Metropolis, and Gotham City, and it's kind of got that feel of this is an alternate reality that you might see in a comic book, and John Wick is definitely a comic book character.
Yeah.
But the sort of not the silly comic books, but the kind of more serious grown-up people they call them graphic novels, comic books. But this one seems like it's going to push that even further, and I don't know, it's almost like sometimes the ideas in certain film series, they start, I mean, the first one, I liked it and I thought it was pretty cool, but then they started pushing the ideas in it that were not the appealing elements of it for me.
Yeah.
And then it gets more and more, and then it becomes like science fiction, fantasy, kind of like alternate reality, like conspiracy theory weirdness going on.
That's okay though. It's okay
I mean,
to have
yeah,
that. I
but-
mean, we don't want realism in every movie.
Right.
Escapism is what we want. And that's what these are.
Yeah, and it becomes escapism,
Yeah.
certainly in a certain way, where it's so escapist that I can no longer believe in it anymore, if that makes sense. I don't believe that world.
Yeah. If suspension of disbelief isn't really a thing all the time. So
Right.
sometimes you
true.
can do it, sometimes you can't.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
depends on the filmmaking. So we'll
us
see
know
about this one from
Which
the world of
Wick
John
your
Wick.
favorite? I want to know what everyone's favorite John Wick movie is too.
Yes, mine's the first one. It's the only one I saw. But we'll see.
Yeah, the first one I thought was pretty good. It stands alone.
All right. Let us know.
Well, from the world of Cinemondo. Thanks for coming by.